You all know Wallace and Gromit. You love them. You've seen their shorts. They feature groundbreaking stop-motion animation, perfect voice acting from Peter Sallis, absolutely fire music. Great visual gags. They exist on this level with Miyazaki's films, The Muppets, and Jim Henson's films. This level of capturing pure innocence and whimsy without cynicism that so few are capable of capturing. They're so pure in their intentions that you can't help but love them. And I love them. Aww. In anticipation of their next feature-length movie, I wanted to talk about their classic short films, which obviously led me to a ranking because who doesn't love a good ranking? I'll be talking about just their officially released shorts and probably Curse of the Were-Rabbit. So let's start with the most recent short from 2008, A Matter of Loaf and Death. While this is good, it doesn't come close to the first three shorts or even the movie. This one is about Wallace falling in love again with Paella Bakewell. Now they say that name so much easier in the movie, but when you're reading it written out, it doesn't sound the way it's like written out. I don't know. I don't know how to explain that. Paella. I don't know, it's a fake name. Formerly the face of Bakelite, who is killing all of the bakers in town. Wallace being her 13th killed, a baker's dozen, if you will, if she were to succeed. Obviously she doesn't, and there's some low-hanging fruit jokes about her gaining weight since being dropped by the baking company, which just always stuck out to me in the wrong ways. Each of the shorts before this one had this timeless feel to it, jokes that aren't at anyone's expense, well-crafted setup and payoffs, visual gags with your occasional adult humor mixed in, but nothing too mean-spirited. And most of this just feels mean, especially since the prior villains were so abstract and she's just a person. Going back to the shorts feeling timeless, this one has direct references to other media, way more overt references than the others. The worst being the bomb joke, which just feels like full-blown plagiarism of Batman 66. And they executed the joke much better in that one too.
Some days you just can't get rid of a bomb.
I chalk this up to the apparent studio notes creator Nick Park received from DreamWorks on Curse of the Were-Rabbit.
And for the first time there's audience test screenings and, is it going to work worldwide?
Definitely feels like their trademark 2000s pop culture jokes seeping into this, which is strange because Nick Park went on to say that he had more freedom with this to make it closer aligned to the original shorts, but to me this feels like just an extension of the movie. This does have good stuff in it. I know I'm kind of ragging on it, but the animation is still impressive, although I prefer the animation from the 90s. Just feels cozier, closer to something that someone could have made on their own. Don't get me wrong though, this one is still fun and enjoyable. They've just set the bar so high that this definitely pales in comparison. Like, do we really need to see Wallace falling in love again and being mean to Gromit? Putting a muzzle on him, no less. Now, I know Wallace has made some big mistakes in the past, but the muzzle, that's unforgivable. The first ever short released in 1989, and good golly, even though this is very much rough around the edges, the animation is still very impressive and genuinely looks incredible in some sequences. It gets out your classic visual gags like cheese holidays, tic-tac-toe, but they were definitely still figuring out their style. While Wallace is an inventor in the following films, he's less of the lovable goof that we know him to be in this one. But it still lays the groundwork for their relationship, Gromit being more of the responsible adult and Wallace acting like the dog. It's very simple. They go to the moon, they try the cheese, and they go back. And there's like a little bit of a antagonist in there, but nothing close to some of the antagonists in the future ones. I will say the story behind it is probably a little more interesting. The creator, Nick Parks, started working on it in school in 1982. Aardman found him in 1985, and he didn't finish it until 1989. 7 years for 23 minutes of film. Peter Sallis was paid only £50. It was originally supposed to be 40 minutes long and closer aligned with something like Star Wars with a bunch of characters, but obviously this was way too complicated and just became the simple story it is. This is still great and definitely worth watching, but they just didn't have the complete special sauce just yet. The Empire Strikes Back to The Wrong Trousers: A New Hope. You wouldn't be wrong for liking this more than The Wrong Trousers. It's perfectly reasonable to like it more. There's some days where, I have my own Wallace and Gromit identity crises. I have to think about which one I prefer, and it's hard. I mean, both are classics. Perfect music, animation, action sequences, Gromit moments. I mean, Gromit gets incarcerated. We see him in jail. It's powerful. It's tragic. Towards the end of the film, when they're trying to save the sheep, they're trying to save Wendeline. His little cab that attaches to the motorcycle, it turns into a World War II style fighter jet that shoots porridge out of it. Like, come on, folks. This is peak storytelling. Shaun the fucking sheep gets introduced. Excellent inclusion to the lore. He's cheeky. He's a bit bitey, but we love the little boy anyways. Now, what's weaker about this one to me compared to the next film I'm going to talk about is the villain. While Preston is he's great. Unfortunately, nothing comes close to the next villain. Nothing strikes as much fear. This has the perfect ending. Wendeline not liking cheese, breaking poor Wallace's heart. It's still a 10 out of 10. Goes straight into the masterpiece zone. Before I talk about the obvious number one, which I've already alluded to, I'll briefly touch on Curse of the Were-Rabbit. It's great. It definitely suffers from studio notes to appeal to American audiences, but it still has a lot of the charm of the first three shorts, and, it's not just Wallace falling in love. I mean, he kind of does, but the story is more than just that. Really, my only issue is the DreamWorks kiddie humor. Otherwise, it's a great feature-length Wallace and Gromit story. I guess it would be third on this list. I don't really know. Can kind of go whatever, and it's kind of hard to compare to short films, but, it's great. It's a good time. We knew this was coming. We all knew it. The Wrong Trousers. I mean, what can I say? What can I say? It's got the laughs. It's got tears, excitement, stunning animation, great music, a truly sociopathic villain, and one of the greatest action sequences put to film. It goes from a tragic drama to a Mission Impossible spy film to Mad Max Fury Road. Absolutely piss off with this. We got heartbreak when Wallace neglects Gromit for Feathers McGraw, leading to Gromit leaving. And you just hate this manipulative piece of fucking garbage, this maniacal little freak. But after Wallace gets stuck in the wrong trousers, Gromit comes back to save the day, and we get what might be the best animated sequence put to film. I think about the train scene on a daily basis. It being an astonishing achievement in animation aside, it's just a superbly well done action scene. Feathers McGraw shooting at Gromit. Gromit with the lamp on his head. He's got to build the track while it's moving, and to top it off, Feathers McGraw gets captured in a glass bottle. Are you kidding me? And just listen to this fucking music. It's the perfect singular Wallace and Gromit story. And on top of that, just one of the most impressive and greatest pieces of animation ever created. Finally, I'll touch on A Vengeance Most Foul. It's really solid and falls right in line with the rest of the output. I've only seen it once, but I'm sure I'll like it more on rewatches, notice some new things. It's not as funny as some of the others, but much closer in line with the classic shorts. So the ranking goes as follows: A Matter of Loaf and Death, A Grand Day Out, A Close Shave, and The Wrong Trousers. Both feature-length movies would fall in line between A Grand Day Out and A Close Shave, but again, it feels weird comparing them to shorts, so I'll leave it as is. Let me know what you think, how you'd rank them, and why Gromit still puts up with Wallace.